Okay, welcome back. And well, actually, we want to move on now. You know, maybe actually, he's a friend of the house. Please do the honor of the introductions.
Good afternoon, viewers. My name is Tony Daniel. I'm a lawyer, a maritime consultant, and a public analyst.
Thank you very, very much, Mr.
Thank
Daniel. You should, I said maybe you should also do some of the work that we do.
Yeah.
Now, we want to look at the question of the governor of Rivers State presenting the 2025 budget. And it's important for me to say...
2024.
Was it 2020?
The one that had been presented last year.
Yes, sorry, 2024 budget. But now it's been determined that it's not of consequence. Events have overtaken it, and he has applied that the matter be dismissed. In fact, some lawyers were making an issue out of struck out or dismissed. Which one is the appropriate one? But in any case, it was dismissed.
Thank you very much. First and foremost, I read and watched what the comment or interview granted by my friend, senior, Femi Falana, SCN. The fact that he's in that matter, because he's in the matter, he's in the team of lawyers for Fubara.
Yes.
He ought not to be making that kind of public comment, you know.
Even though it was clarifying.
No, you see, that is number one. Number two, I need to clarify the fact that the appeal, there are so many appeals involving Rivers State crisis, both at the Court of Appeal and the Supreme Court. The particular appeal referred to for the purpose of correction is the decision of the Justice of the Federal High Court, Abdul Malik, to the effect that, is it Abdul Malik or Motosho? I've forgotten Justice Motosho.
It's a Motosho.
Good. That it's wrong and unconstitutional for the governor to have presented the appropriation bill in Rivers State to just 4 members of the State House out of 31 members. And then they went to the Court of Appeal, and the Court of Appeal upheld that position. Fubara's team now went to the Supreme Court. Now they came up to file a notice of discontinuance. If it was other courts, if you file a notice of discontinuance before the other parties have taken steps, the case is struck out. If the other parties have taken steps, they can demand for compensation. At the Supreme Court, the other parties have taken steps. And Justice Daudu, even though the other lawyers, who are equally SCN, did not oppose the withdrawal of the appeal, Justice Daudu drew the attention of the Supreme Court justices to the fact that issues have been joined. There are 5 processes against the appeal filed by the Fubara team. And because of that, they want compensation. And I think they were granted 2 million.
2 million each.
Now, the danger of saying the event has overtaken the issue, with due respect to the SCN, is wrong.
But with the explanation, this is where I know it's important that because there are many more of me than there are of you. That is to say, we are not, what is that thing you lawyers like to say?
We are not learned.
We're not learned. We're not learned. So the point I was making here by bringing that up is that the bill, what it refers to, doesn't exist anymore.
No.
The money has been spent.
No, excuse me.
That is the explanation.
No. For example,
we're trying to make sense of
for
it.
example, Uncle Yori,
yes, sir.
I'm at the Supreme Court for a case. It's a criminal matter. The defendant has been convicted and he has served his jail term. But I'm still at the Supreme Court to get the court to declare that that conviction was wrong.
Okay.
Now, there was a decision by the Federal High Court. You went to the Court of Appeal. The Court of Appeal said, no, the Federal High Court is correct. You cannot present an appropriation bill to just 4 persons, contrary to the provision of the Constitution, whereas we have 31 persons. You now file an appeal to the Supreme Court. That means the law or the position of the case is as decided by the Court of Appeal, which I've said the step you took was wrong. So if we want to refer to that case, we shall refer to the decision of the Court of Appeal, because the Supreme Court did not reach any decision in that matter anymore. The decision of the Court of Appeal was what the Fubara matter. What I'm saying is that if you want to refer to the decision of the court in respect of that matter, which decision will you refer to? Because there's a decision. The decision of the Court of Appeal.
Okay.
It remains valid. It has not been set aside. It has not been upturned. So as regard this case, that is the position of the law.
Well, yeah. But again, to seek this clarification, it was said that because there's no conceivable benefit that can be derived from continuing, and because there's, we don't want to waste the precious time of the Supreme Court, and so this is why we are not going to continue with this, because it doesn't mean anything anymore.
No, it doesn't mean anything anymore to you.
Okay, okay.
It means a lot. Some persons went to court to challenge and said this is supposed to be the correct position of the law. The court upheld the position of those people. You said, no, you are not satisfied. You went to the Court of Appeal. The Court of Appeal said the position reached by the lower court as maintained by the opposition is correct. You said, no, 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 you are going to the Supreme Court. You are going to the Supreme Court to upturn the decision. So the decision does not affect only you, which means the position of the other party is correct. So what it means is that if we want to refer, if we are doing similar case with similar facts and principles of law in a lower court, like the High Court or Federal High Court, and the issue of presentation of appropriation bill to members that are far less than the quorum required by the Constitution,
yes,
you can refer to the decision of the Court of Appeal, because for now, that is where it stops. The Supreme Court have not tested it unless it happens again. So the decision of a court primarily benefits the parties, but the society and law itself also benefit from it. So the locus classicus of that case has become a locus classicus. The decision of the Court of Appeal is a reference point if you have issues like this. Okay. It has not been upturned. It remained valid.
Okay. And,
yes.
And because of what you've just said, I understand why you say that Mr. Femi Falana, SAN, you take exception to his, because he's also a party.
It's a party.
You take exception to the explanation that he gave.
No, the explanation he gave to the effect that his team, because he's part of the team for the Governor Fubara, deliberately formally withdrew the appeal they filed at the Supreme Court. That is correct. But what is the effect of the withdrawal when he said it is spent? What is spent?
The subject matter.
Yes, because they are coming into another financial year now.
That's right.
Which means they cannot represent the appropriation bill to these 4 persons. I have said it at this station that...
But does it mean that? Because...
That's what it means.
The law can be quite technical.
No, the Court of Appeal decision has not changed.
Because now we're talking about 2025 appropriation bill.
The Court of Appeal decision is that you ought not to present an appropriation bill of your state to 4 members of the House. This does not mean that I'm supporting Wike. I'm not a fan of Wike. I was very impressed with the decision of the same Court of Appeal that you cannot starve a state of funds when a justice, I think it's Justice Abdul Malik, that gave a judgment that the state should not be giving money, central bank should not. But the Court of Appeal set aside that because we look at the doctrine of necessity. The state must exist. The state must survive. And the state is the society. So money to a state is food to man. They need the money. You can't stop them from getting money.
Indeed.
So now I am also aware that there is a case like Femi Falana SAN stated. Once you defect, and I don't know why we have this proliferation of cases of defection. Once you defect from a party under which you were elected to another party, except there is a clear issue of, what do you call it, factions, like we currently have in PDP, you have vacated that seat. What the members of the Rivers State House of Assembly did, I think 27 members, if it is true, was that they deposed to an affidavit that we are leaving this party. If they have done that, yes, if it is true that they did that, I am also aware, or I gather reliably, that they went to court to get an injunction stopping INEC from conducting fresh election, which means INEC is supposed to conduct fresh election. That's what it means. So if you go to court to stop them, that means you know they are supposed to conduct. You are now technically and negatively exploiting judicial procedure to force injustice. 2 years is almost gone now. They have 2 more years to go, and we are still having this crisis. What the judiciary is supposed to do, and I think the CJN has been doing some of these things, take certain matters very serious, go out of your way to set up a panel to take that matter. Yeah. The issue of injunction stopping INEC from conducting election from the 27 vacant seat, it means that the seat has become vacant. They should give speedy hearing to that matter.
Okay, but there's also the issue, I think one of the justices, if it is just one, had pointed out that the charge that some people had lost their seats because they had decamped to another party, no evidence of such was actually brought to court.
I will be surprised to hear that, because I read about that too. I'll be surprised. These are SANs. I have advised Fubara and Wiki, we lawyers, particularly those of us who are, I mean, those of them that are SANs, are the one making the gains from this crisis. You are enriching them. They are already very rich. The affidavit that they deposed to was referred to severally by my brother Femi Falana SAN. If he has referred to it, and he was in the team of the lawyers for Fubara, I'll be very surprised if they didn't front-load the certified true copy of this affidavit.
Well, apparently not.
Because
a whole justice will not be asserting that Fubara's team had neglected to provide any evidence to the court system that indeed a decampment had
I have not seen the judgment, and I'm not privy to the documents filed or processes filed. But I doubt if that omission will be made. If it was made, that's too bad. That would be most unfortunate. Femi Falana, I respect so much. Oga Yusuf, I respect so much. They cannot be in a team and that kind of mistake is done. Whereas the primary purpose of going to court is to get the court to declare the seat vacant. And you say you didn't go with the proof that that seat has become, the basis upon which you are claiming that the seat has become vacant, you didn't canvass it. Even newspaper published it. And I think the fact is so notorious.
So where does all of this leave us now in terms of the status of this particular issue?
As regard the members of the State House of Assembly,
for example, yes.
As a lawyer, based on my knowledge, subject to any superior argument from any person, the seats are vacant. But the INEC cannot conduct fresh election because there's an injunction. That is that. Every development will be visited with technical and legal reaction. So again, I have said it twice on this station before you, Uncle Yori, that political solution is the best for what we have. It will continue to, I'm a lawyer.
Will it hold?
See.
Will it hold in the presence of so many laws and lawyers?
Uncle Yori, recently, did you read that Amechi, the one-time governor of Rivers State, was given an award and he openly dedicated the award to somebody we all consider his arch enemy, Wike. Are you aware of that? You see, it takes maturity, not really age, to resolve issues. It takes, if you are egoistic, it will be difficult for you to resolve issues. Wike's popularity was at the balance because of the incident in Rivers State and because of his toughness in his ministry. This is an opportunity. Let me tell you what Afe Babalola did recently.
Okay.
You think he doesn't have the power to fight? You think he cannot fight? Or he doesn't have the money? But look at, despite his anger, look at what he did. He became very popular.
Yes.
Based on that act.
Okay.
Wike called Fubara. Be sincere. Two of you should sit down, resolve all these issues. Let Rivers State start getting the dividend of democracy. What's all this show of power? Fubara, if Wike is not calling you, go to Wike yourself. I'm very sure if you walk into his office and say you want to talk to him alone, he will not stop you. Okay. Why are you waiting for the president and waiting for other people to resolve the issue? What I've taken from what you said is that there has to be an alternative solution, not necessarily a judicial solution. To if you the injunction is stopping INEC, and they can negatively exploit anything in the through judicial procedure or processes to further delay it. Okay. Have we not seen cases where somebody won an election, the other man, before the improvement on the laws that limit the time for hearing political election cases? Before that, you see somebody elected, complete his tenure. The matter is still in court. Yeah. Okay. Well, I thank you very much for coming along. Are we through? We have not. We spent so much time. Oh, really? And it's valuable because you've just explained a number of issues that relate to this. I can't go over them because and you've just finished saying them anyhow. But I do want to thank you, Tony. Mr. Tony Daniel is a legal practitioner and an advocate of human rights. Thank you so much. Wherever you see that one, if there's any infringement, you can expect you among a lot of other colleagues to be up in arms. So I want to thank you very much for coming along. Thank you so much. Really appreciate you. Yes. Indeed, that's where we're going to have to leave it today. Do please join us tomorrow for a fresh edition. I am Yori Volare. Bye-bye for now.